Do you hear my sound clearly? Okay. Any background noise disturbance? Little bit. Okay. Okay. If it is getting too much, please let me know. I have a few questions, so let me go get into the questions first. In this Thursday morning, we practice Chandra Bedana in after practicing. I felt the energy in the quiet state. And then in the asana time, I just wanted to practice restorative poses, standing poses and shavasana. I didn't feel tired or any illusion. So should I follow that? Is there any attachments to the quiet state when we practice pranayama? Okay. The more you are able to stay yourself, totally, fully in what you are doing, any kind of activity, you will not lose the energy faster. Physical tiredness may occur, but it may not happen that quickly. Also, it is depends on the nature of your body. And also, when we do things, any kind of activity, it is interesting. It will be interesting to see in which plane of your mind, in the state of your mind, you are doing things. More, we can use the word consciousness. when your senses are externally going all the time and you never gone inward, a non-meditator, a non-practitioner have no idea about this. They are also using the mind, they are also doing things from which platform they are functioning. Same mind, but the conscious level different. But a person who is aware fully in all the activities, being in the moment, moving inward, a meditator. The action may be same, but the functionality will be varying. We can say this way, a meditator cleaning the floor, a non-meditator cleaning the floor. Keep aside the physical condition, whatever the physical nature. But the state of mind, the quietude of these two persons will be different, and also the way they lose the energy will be different because of that action. So when we do asana, it takes us inward, pranayama takes us inward, meditation takes us inward. A lot of people practicing asana with a lot of desire. I have to achieve this pose. I have to become a teacher. I have to reach there, here. A constant external traveling. That's why they don't really experience the full effect potential of asana practice. But when you do pranayama, like Chandra Bedana, more inward journey, inward practice. So the plane from which you are getting into asana practice is different. So you are working from your inner conscious state, inner conscious plane. So even though you may be doing flow movements, sun salutation, not necessarily only forward bends or relaxation postures. Even you may be doing flow, but still that quietude, nature will be there. So definitely you can follow that pattern. You can do pranayama. After pranayama, you can get into asana practice step by step to continue your inward journey. Not necessarily Chandra Bedana, any kind of pranayama to some extent. And you are asking, is there any attachments to the quiet state when we practice pranayama? if you are asking that, I might get attached with that quiet state. Which is fine. This kind of attachment is better than any other attachment. So you can happily get attached with asana practice, get attached with the pranayama practice, get attached with meditation practice. Of course, there is a point come, you need to overcome this attachment also, which may come naturally. Unless it is harming your body, you need to look into. Otherwise, it's fine. Okay, there is other question. Is there any difference in terms of what we should aware when we hold the breath during Viloma, Kumbhaka, physically and energetically? See, Kumbhaka works in a different capacity. Viloma, we are not really holding the breath. We are just interrupting. It's a short pause. So, it totally changes the nature of your body, physically, physiologically, mentally, as well as energetically. In Viloma, you don't really hold the energy or compress what you have. You are not multiplying. It's just interrupting, little bit break. And when it comes to Kumbhaka, retention, you are holding the power. By holding, the nature of energy will change. The impact of that energy to your body will change, your physical, physiological, and psychological. That's why when you are doing Kumbhaka retention, the body is not ready, but you are holding with certain force. That means you are bringing a lot of energy to the place which is not capable enough to handle it. It's like our electric devices, right? They have the capacity only that 110 watt, 240 watt, and the energy oversupply, it will get fused beyond the capacity. So our body has the limited capacity. That's why every yoga books masters are warning about it. When we go into pranayama practice, prepare your body first, especially Kumbhaka. So without preparing the body, without preparing the mind, not only body as well as the mind, going into strong practice of pranayama, when I'm saying strong, deeper aspects of retention, Kumbhaka. It may harm. That's why we need to aware. So The main difference here, it's interruption. Retention is totally different. We will learn little bit of that, understand that, to get the experience of it. Okay, next question. After more than 60 days learning pranayama, I recognize that maybe I actually don't know about yoga as I thought, and I don't know enough about myself, my body, and my mind. By your experience, please share with us your opinion. What is important thing to a yoga teacher? What is important to a yoga teacher? Nothing but yoga practice. Very importantly, keep the cap of teacher. I am a teacher. You have to keep that away. You play a role. As a teacher, you play a role. Also, don't forget you have a role of a student. The whole idea of teaching yoga should be to learn first for you. Learn about what? As you see different body, different mind, through that you learn that should help to realize. So you have to ask this question first. Why I am teaching yoga, why I want to be a yoga teacher. It becomes a profession, a career, which is fine. But just because you become a teacher, that doesn't mean that you know everything about the subject. But we are doing the same mistake. Once become a teacher, they don't want to say they don't know. But the whole yoga is such a subject you can keep on learning forever, knowing forever. There is certain ending point. What is the ending point? Knowing yourself. In one side, that is the ending point. After knowing that also, that's the end of any knowledge. After knowing that also, how various things works, you can keep on learning that. When you look into Yoga Sutra, every sutra, you can spend really quite some time to understand one sutra. You straight away get some meaning, some interpretation. It's fine just for individual learning. But when there is a different perspective, different person's approach, based on that, if you want to see the meaning, it is quite vast. How do we understand everything? How do we know? Simply, it talks many types of samadhi, vidarka, vichara, ananda, asmita, rupa. Is it by knowing the meaning, do we really know? No. We will know only by practice, by experience. We can get some assumptions, certain glimpse of that, certain understanding of it. But even to get into that glimpses, we need certain amount of practice, direction in that, our steps, our actions. I'm thinking, okay, I don't worry about meditation. I'm not into that, or I'm doing little bit pranayama. Also, I'm not into that. I'm just doing asana teaching only. Then first thing what we have to do, we should not claim ourselves as a yoga teacher if your interest is only in asana practice. Tell clearly, I am an asana teacher. Why? Yoga is not limiting to asana practice. Ashtanga yoga. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of living with one purpose, to get rid of all the issues, to get total freedom. So as a yoga teacher, if you are sharing to somebody, you need to know what is your role. If you are focusing only asana, tell clearly, this is my focus, this I am learning, here I am a student. If you get some experience, yes, of course you can share that. But we should be very clear why I want to be a yoga teacher. If you have that clarity, then you don't get into conflict. When you know very clearly say, I know. When you don't know, very clearly you will say, I don't know. Very simple. We don't get into this power politics. We don't get into this teacher's game. I'm a senior teacher, junior teacher. Which level you have? Are you a teacher trainer? Are you an assessor? How many students you have? You have studio or not? How many years you practice? All these things are totally nonsense. It's not only required for a yoga practitioner, it's also not required for a yoga teacher. Unfortunately, it also become one more product people want to consume. If you use it as a product and you have very clarity about it, this is what I am using for this purpose, I am using, no issue. But we should have this observation, this understanding about practicing, about teaching, about the role playing, so that with yourself you have clarity, with your students you have clarity, and always teach what you know, what you get clarity, what you experience. First, we need to have very clear understanding that this I know, this I don't know. So that like we want to know, we will put effort to know because I don't know. The whole idea of practicing yoga is to let go the ego. But now yoga teachers become biggest egoist than anybody else. And also when they particularly, following this style, that style. I practice this yoga, I practice that yoga. My yoga is the best yoga. Your yoga is not. No maturity. The whole practice is about being inclusive, getting away the divisions. But every yoga group becomes exclusive. They follow a particular teacher, they may follow the same style. Okay, I don't want to exactly name it, but generally this is the trend. It may be a same teacher, they may be students of same teacher, but this teacher have their own group of students, the other teacher have their group of students within the same place. They don't share with each other, they don't practice together, they don't really mingle together, even as a community. Lack of understanding, lack of clarity, importantly, lack of practice. Everybody thinking doing asana is yoga practice. So they spend 3 hours, 4 hours. That's what they think practice. No. What do you do in daily life? That is what yoga practice. You may stand 20 minutes in headstand, perfect posture. What is the point if you are not able to practice Maitri, Karuna, no friendliness, no compassion, no acceptance of others, inclusive, not inclusive of others' things as they are. You want to exclude this person, this and that. No, 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 no. Keep away. Creating more divisions, more discrimination. Very simple reason, not really understanding what is yoga about. That's all. If they get the right guidance, if they really bring that whatever the guidance they get into practice, the whole world is practicing yoga, supposed to be a peaceful paradise. It's unfortunate. Hope things will change. Okay, next question. During pranayama, except change the leg position, can I change the sitting position? From swastikasana, change to virasana, then change back to swastikasana. Because of the tightness of the shoulder, can I sometimes putting my hands by the sides of the buttocks to open the chest and doing pranayama? All these practice can be done. You practice at an amount of time and your body is not ready. Yes, you can change the position, different posture. Also, we can use the external support like we are using the props. So when you are taking the arms behind and if you maintain from here, you can do that, which is also fine. Certain techniques, you can do that. But keep this in your mind. It's not a permanent solution. It should not become your permanent practice unless there is some challenges. So we need that. The aim is Stiram Sukhamasana. Sthira Sukham Asanam need to be there. Steady and comfortable position is necessary. Effortless posture. Which is necessary for regular pranayama practice, which is necessary for meditation practice. So you can do that. Okay, next question. During pranayama, sometimes my left ear got tinnitus, the line right above and below the left ear hole, feeling lifted up. Sometimes this feeling is also going on to the left neck area. I have got cataract surgery more than 10 years. That time I had also headache, always on one side. The doctor said my frontal sinus is not upgrowth. So also always get inflammation in the nose and catch cold, etc. Now less headache, also getting cold less. So does those feeling now have related with that? As it is quite long time back, I am not sure whether it may have direct connection. If it is something recently, possible. And also you already said you are getting less headache, less cold. So it may be very much locally related with that side, left side here. And also you said it happens sometime. If your practice is in the right direction, the frequency should reduce. Over a period of time, it should not happen. Unless you have some other issues. So I would suggest you have to go combination of pranayama as well as meditation. The energy center based meditation. Ajna, Anagata, or Vishuddhi. Also, pranayama go for Nadi Shuddhi. Not only morning time, I would say, if possible, 3 times in a day or 2 times in a day. Morning and evening, or morning, afternoon, evening. 10 minutes, just 10 minutes. And as you practice this continuously, see what is the effect of it. Asana practice, I hope also you are going, you are doing it regularly. Go for supported back bends. Postures like Upari Dandasana, Sedubandha Sarvangasana. And see how it goes. If it is repeatedly happening, very much regular every day, then you have to first check with the doctor. What is the condition? Why it is happening? As I said, if it is occasionally happening, as you do this regular practice, that occasion should be reducing. If it is happening once a week, after some time, it may be 2 times, after 2 weeks once, like that. Please check and let me know. Next question. Yesterday you were mentioned about mantra. I'm quite interested in it, want to know more. The terminology word mantra had originally from India or Western country. What is the meaning of it? Can you give examples? What is the relationship between mantra, yoga, pranayama, and meditation? Yes, it is from Sanskrit. English is a language very easily adopt from any language. When there is no word, easily they bring the word from other language, they use it as it is. And if you go to the dictionary, they don't mention every dictionary about it. What is the origin of this word? That's a separate dictionary. That's where you have to look into. Otherwise, generally they will give the meaning straight away. Straight away, they give the meaning as per the current application, how they are using it. It's a compound word in Sanskrit. Mantra. Mantra. Man plus tra. Mantra. Mantra. Mantra becomes that in the sound, a compound word. Manas means mind. So the root for the manas is man. Thoughts, mind, all these things. Tra, loose translation, a vehicle, an instrument. So this, what is mantra? Something in the mind used as a vehicle. Something happening on the mind. Through that to achieve something. As a vehicle, what is the purpose? A to B, to go from here to there, right? Like that to achieve something. And also, which is happening within the mind. The scriptures, Veda, all it is written in Veda, they are known as mantras. The so-called mantras, whatever we are hearing, chanting, all from that, from that Vedas. What is the purpose of it? So this one created, this one contemplated, happened in the mind, created with the purpose to get something, to reach somewhere, to attain something. So it has to happen repeatedly because you want to get that. Until you get that, it has to happen. So in that way, in Vedas, they have created many mantras for various purpose, various reasons. The latest or the current example of that, if you see that, they talk about what you think you will become that way, right? Because it's repeatedly you are creating in the mind. If you think, I can't do that, I can't achieve that, if you do it repeatedly, repeatedly, the whole thing will happen accordingly. Your body will change accordingly. Your circumstances will change accordingly, either immediately or certain period of time. So the mind is creating that energy, that thought process, because it is happening repeatedly. Psychologically, they say, you know, you are creating that because of your thought process. So this is, we can say, similar, this concept of mantra. So these rishis created certain mantras based on the interest people have. I want to have good children. There are mantras for that. I want to gain wealth. There are mantras for that. I want to be a powerful person. I want to become more influenced. There are mantras for that. Same way, I want to know myself. I want to know the truth. Mantras for that. Example, Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Suhandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhana Mrityormukshi Yamamritaat. So these mantras, listen, it is in Sanskrit. It comes with a certain meter, the syllables, the words combination, how to recite, how to chant, just to maintain the same energy. Also, many Shanti mantras are there, basically to get into peace, to get into inward journey. Asatoma Satkamaya Tamasoma Jyotirghamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Like these Shanti mantras. The meaning is it's about praying to know one's own self and just putting it simply, don't going in, not going into the details. Traditionally, when we start education, olden days, not now, when we go into studying, starting to practice, they first give a mantra. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha, Gayatri mantra. The whole idea is to get the education, to give the knowledge, to become intelligent. So they start to study, not in detail, listen, recite, understand the meaning. So your mind it has to keep on repeatedly saying this mantra with by knowing the meaning. At least the intention should be there. Okay, I'm chanting this mantra to get the knowledge. You may not knowing the whole meaning. I'm chanting this mantra to realize myself, to know who I am. So the act should not be mechanical. So it was given by a master to his disciple. Then that disciple becomes master, given to the other disciple. That disciple becomes the master, given to the other disciple. So it has a long tradition of this recitation, repeatedly said for ages, years after years, generation after generation. But the problem is, anything we do repeatedly, the mind loses its attention. Only the ritual is there, spirit is gone. You can just take our own experience. So before starting asana practice, we invoke sage Patanjali. How many of us really giving attention to know the meaning first? If you know the meaning, when you are chanting, how far the attention is there while you are chanting, with that intention to seek the blessings of Patanjali and ask his guidance. Sometimes, yes. If it is happening all the time, good. But you check yourself. There is a high possibility it may become one more mechanical act. Repeat because it is happening repeatedly. Yogena chittasya padena vacham. Chanting going on. Mind here. Did I adjust my sit bone? Did I roll my spine up? Did I roll my shoulders? Malam sharirasya chavaidhyagena. Chanting going on. Mind says, did I keep the phone off or on? We do repeatedly, it becomes mechanical. The mind is not there fully. And what is the purpose of mantra? It is the vehicle of in the mind, right? So it has to be there totally involved. Every word when we say. Then that mantra becomes like really beneficial, immensely effective. What they think, what they recite, what they feel, all same. That's why I said, like, when we chant Om like that, probably our attention is not there in that. But when we use as a mantra, every time we recite Om, the idea is when I know myself, when I know the truth, where is the secret of this life? The aim is there. So every time when we say Om, we are calling that ultimate being as a mantra. Every religion has certain type of mantras, though maybe it is not known as mantras, but it has something which they do that repeatedly again and again. But again, because it becomes a very mechanical act, then if they do that, so it not really giving the benefit of that. In Vedic schools or even in many places, you can notice they may do that because they should not go to sleep. They move this way. Om Asdoma Sadgamaya Tamazoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mridamgamaya. The whole attention should be there, understand the meaning and recite. But when they teach to the youngsters, right? The youngsters, they don't really give attention to it. It's playful mind. One teacher see that, then he said, okay, you should not sit steady and do, you move. Asdoma Sadgamaya Tamazoma Jyotirgamaya. So the movement is there, chanting is there, so that like they are there in that. That's why when we teach yoga to the kids, you can't teach shavasana to them. You can't sit and ask them to go for pranayama or meditation. It doesn't work. They need movement. So it has very purposeful way, meaning, but it depends on how do you do that. And what is the relationship between mantra, yoga, pranayama, and meditation? We can use a mantra as a meditation. Even in pranayama technique, we can use certain bija mantras. Yam, lam, ram, vam, hum, om. There are bija mantras. Using that, because that bija mantras known to related with certain energy centers. So using the breath, using the mantra to connect with the energy center. In fact, just using the mantra, they don't do anything else, just mantra only. They call it mantra yoga. Main that the top aim is mantra. If they do asana and other things, just to support it. So we can say that that is the one technique, basically, one of the approach. It helps for many ways, for many reasons. That itself a big subject. We can keep exploring that in many ways. I'm just trying to give a little bit idea about it, gist of it. Yeah, the mantra shared here is the meaning of that. Okay, that's all I have today. Let's continue the practice. See you again. Thank you all. Namaste.